I'm an English major, so I'm in the Beeman Library a lot, especially for classes. So the classroom in Beeman 209, I know all of our English majors, we would like to see that like maybe expanded, bigger, more functional. It's a little awkward right now. The technology doesn't work all the time. But like in terms of ambience, like I know the lighting in here is like really bright and fluorescent, so maybe like something to kind of tone it down, like soften the area. Like I see we have some plants, but maybe some more plants or curtains, or I don't know, something to make it feel cozier.
One thing that I would love to like to see be brought in more in the library was, I guess, more additions to the graphic novel section. I like, I absolutely love like graphic novels, and I guess with graphic novels, I feel like they can kind of expand or touch upon like certain issues that I guess in a sense, it'll paint a better picture in the minds of like some readers. Like, say, example, they're reading a book about social issues. They might not exactly picture it, but with a graphic novel that kind of talks about it or incorporates it within the story.
I would love to see just more space and more books, period. I think the bigger the library, the better message that sends to our university and to future students, current students, community members, that that's what we value here is a good education. So I guess for me it would be about creating spaces where students can interact with the books, they can interact with each other, and they can interact with their professors. Right now we have offices, some of us are cramped adjuncts, instructors, the part-time, we share some spaces. We'd also love to see coffee in the library from the students' point of view especially. That's always a good bonding factor and just gives them the fuel to keep working. One of my favorite things our library currently does, which it does a lot right, I think the courtyard is beautiful. I think the First Friday concerts, we've got students playing that gorgeous piano, and you walk in and there's a piano, there's a coffee station, which could be elevated massively from where it's currently at. But that atmosphere, I think, is beautiful. And if more people knew about it, if it had the right marketing on campus, to me that should be a big hit. Yes, it would be wonderful to have plugs on the table. When you're working and your computer's about to die and you have to try to get near a wall and go around the wall, and then there's only 2 plugs and somebody's already in the wall. So absolutely chargers for computers, phones at each individual station, table, whatever that would look like would be really helpful for students.
Is having an environment where you can feel like you can talk a little bit. So for example, there are like private study rooms for those who would like to be in a complete quiet space, but otherwise some people studying better in environments where they can talk a little bit and maybe grab like a group of people instead. And I feel like here that you can't do that as much as you could in other places, which is why people might resort to somewhere else for studying. So like what would help is maybe adding like a coffee bar somewhere like in the corner, like somewhere outside in the library for those who like really need it. And then also just creating like a little environment like separate from the study rooms and all the tables. Like
I think some things that would make the library more just accessible to students is even kind of in this area upstairs, it's hard to get to plugins. So I feel like when I want to sit somewhere that's not completely like hidden up against a wall or near an outlet, it's kind of difficult. And even in like the student center, I kind of run into the same issue. Like if it's crowded or if I'm at a table that's kind of in the center, not against a wall, like there's nowhere for me to plug my computer in. And I find that a little difficult when I need to stay somewhere for a long time to study. Like I don't just come here to study until my laptop dies and then, leave. And so I would probably stay longer if it was easier to plug into my laptop. If I kind of just need a little bit of energy around me to concentrate in a weird way, and so like I'll go to the student center, but there's nowhere to plug in my laptop most of the time. And so like it'd be cool if there was a space in here where you could like grab a donut or a coffee or something, and it would be okay to talk, and there'd be easy access to outlets You know, because I feel like the classrooms have kind of gotten to that point. Like a lot of the ones in Ezel, you just like pop up the thing and there's an outlet, or in Starbucks, the one like main table, the long one, you just plug it in like right underneath. So something like that, I feel like it would really advance the library. It would make it seem a little more, I guess, kind of not like it's not with the times, but it would be easier to access things. And
the first thing I will change is the library hours. I will just extend them to like maybe 2 a.m. from, I think it's 12 from Monday to Thursday. I'll just extend it to like 2 a.m. from Monday through Thursday. Friday it makes sense, everybody has plans. But Friday I think I'll extend those to like until 7 o'clock. Because sometimes we're here on Fridays and when they do the warning for the lights, like it's time to go, and you're in the middle of assignment, it's just that it'll be nice to have longer hours. I think one plug is being shared between 3 tables. Sometimes it's just so awkward that you found a good spot, but your laptop is dead, so you can't really sit there because the next plug-in is 2 tables down. So there should be at least one for each table. That's how they should design it. One of the best things that we can do is have a coffee shop or something. Obviously we already have one Starbucks on campus, so they're not gonna bring another one, but having a mini coffee branch in the library will be much helpful, because sometimes you're here for like 8 hours, because that's how it is for engineering majors, because time is the thing that you have the least amount, but sometimes it takes that many hours to get something done, and you're like dying for that coffee dose, and you have to go like all the way to Bennett, come back, which is not that far away, but having a coffee shop or a coffee stop inside the library, that'll be a great point. I think a lot of people will love it.
So what I find when I go to the library is a lot of times I can't find a place to sit that doesn't have someone at the table already. So if there were more table space, or like the tables were maybe smaller, like some smaller tables where it would be like just one person could sit at them, and then that would create more space for other people who are by themselves. Because a lot of times I like going to classrooms because there's like space for me to sit if like nobody else is in there. So there's not enough space in the
I mean,
library.
it's definitely not like to our generation appealing, like looks wise. Like the tans and the grays and the greens and the purples. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but yeah, it just definitely makes me feel like I'm back in my like childhood home or something.
It is weird colors.
Yeah, it is weird colors. I don't know. Maybe if it's just like calming colors, you know?
I would like, so there's TVs in the study rooms, and I would like an easier way to connect my computer to the TVs, because I would have presentations or a collaboration on a paper, and like all of my friends need to see my computer, and it's just, I tried to connect it one time, and it's like you need an HDMI. My MacBook doesn't have an HDMI. There's no Apple TV on the TV, so I couldn't do it, and so we just had to look at my tiny screen, and I couldn't like really practice on my presentation because it wasn't like anything official. I'm a commuter. I don't have many options.
Yeah.
So the library is like my most important thing that I have to go to. It's where I print, it's where I have to meet up with other people, it's where I stay in the morning waiting for classes to study, and if it's not really, you know, good looking, or if it's not up to like what I need, then there's no point of coming here.
Just like the color scheme of like, I feel like all the furniture. I would change the furniture because it's like, let's be honest, it's like a little outdated. And so just for, I feel like recruitment purposes, like modernity purposes, I would do that. I don't know much about like the reference purpose of the library in terms of resources, but I do know that like walking in here, especially as like a freshman, I was kind of like, this is kind of a little bit of a time capsule.
Yes, I think a lot of the color scheme of the library could be improved if we change some of the gray, you know, beige and the like deep purples into greens and browns and some more natural colors. I think that could be really energizing for students while they're studying. Kind of that subliminal energy that you get just from your surroundings. The English department is housed here, and I'm an English major, and there are a lot of times when I have to meet with adjunct professors who share office space. And so having a space here in the library where I could meet with professors and be able to speak with them out loud, but also know that we're not interrupting someone else's office space or anyone else's quiet space would be really, really valuable. Most of the time when I come here to study, I'll go to Starbucks beforehand and get a coffee. I usually get a large coffee because I don't want to have to go back to Starbucks, but then it gets cold after a little while, and it'd be nice to have something here where, especially if I'm studying late at night, I don't have to be walking back and forth in the dark between Starbucks and here. As safe as I feel on Lipscomb's campus, it feels a little bit sketchy to be walking back and forth at night. And it's just a big inconvenience. So I think having a coffee station here in the library would be really nice. It also would provide a space for students to kind of talk with each other and study together in a more verbal environment, so it's not as quiet and hush as the rest of the library.